this opportunity and said, hey, maybe I got a couple of years left in me. So that's me. Strategically, obviously, I report to Mike, and Mike has asked me to not only do some team transformations, but also lay the groundwork for a longer term strategy, and parts of that are coming together. So that being said, I'll turn it over to Pallavi.
Yeah, I just opened my camera for 2 minutes because since my daughter is here today, she's all over the house. So yeah, hi.
You should have a rule that if your child is near you, you have to put your child in your lap, and we all have to say hello. No,
She is not going to let me speak. Just like that. I mean, I'm just here like she's going to bang at the door and say that please open the door. I want to be in the room. So I cannot. Yeah. So welcome, Karen, to the team. This is Pallavi. So I have been part of the NRS for the past 5 months. I also joined this year in April, and I'm working here as a senior analyst. So I work closely with Jim. So basically, I act as a bridge between the business. So Jim and me, we talk to the business, we get all the requirements and everything, and then we talk to the developers and give them the task, like what has to be done and everything. If you have any issues, then you can come to me for anything, right? I'm always there, right? So you can ping me, email me. So that's how we work here. And yeah, I will talk to you. Because today only Pranav was asking me like what we have in the next sprint for Karen. So I said that I have still not decided. So maybe in the next week on Tuesday, I'll touch base with you, and then we can discuss about. I've also scheduled the KT sessions. So once you're in the KT sessions, then I'll also simultaneously allocate the work to you, and then we can go over the requirements and everything, and you can take it from there. Okay.
Yeah, we are very much looking to get you up to speed and getting you working.
Yeah, sure. So I'll go next. So hi, Karen. I think we have spoken, we have chatted. So right now it's a face-to-face, virtual face-to-face interaction. So welcome to the team. So I am working on this project since last 5 years. So I am working as ETL lead, kind of team lead from the persistent side, and then all the things ETL data source related. So you are going to be a Tableau developer. So all the data source related questions you can reach out to me. I will try to help you out regarding how to resolve and how we can move forward. So that's it about me. Welcome to the team once again. Yeah, Nikhil, please go ahead.
Yeah. Hi, Karen. This is Nikhil. I'm also part of this team for the past 5 years, and I work as a ETL developer. So that's my background. And welcome to the team. We'll start working together soon.
You know, with this company, if you get 5 years, you're considered an old timer. You know that. And actually, just before we move on, Pranav, just a thought process. The proposal that Nikhil made at the last sales record meeting on some of those report changes, we may want to start exposing Karen to some of that work as well. And
sure.
We also have some work for Lisa Thompson that's queuing up. Lisa wants to understand Redshift a little better. I don't know if that might be too early for Karen. However, Lisa's very interested in opportunities to become more self-sufficient. She's an MS Access user, an Excel linkage user. I discovered she's not overly powerful with SQL, but she is the Senior Director of Sales Analytics. So it's someone that we want to get to know. And I mean, to be fair, financial reporting is great, but sales analytics tends to be a little bit more exploratory, a little bit more, it's more the artistic expressionary type of reporting. So very cool area to get exposed to. It's a new position. So Lisa's been with the company now, I think, for maybe 2 months or so. So it's very new. Yeah.
Yeah, sure, Jim.
Yep.
We can work towards that. Okay, so yeah, Pratik.
Yeah, hi Karan. So this is Pratik. So I have been part of this team for the last 1.5 years. So I also work as a ETL developer on the field analytics side. Yeah, looking forward to work with you.
We both are ETL developers and we have one ETL master.
Oh no,
Yeah,
everybody
the guy
knows.
with the smile. Yeah.
That's not the problem. Everybody knows ETL very well. So three of us mainly we look into the ETL side, Karen, me, Nikhil, and Pratik. So all the ETL related, data source related questions, you can reach out to us. So Prashant.
Yeah. Hi, Karen. Welcome to the team. I'm looking at the DevOps operation part. I'm doing release management and deployment of our releases on the UAT part. And other than that, for production and UAT is taken care by our counterpart Murli. So that's it. That's it for my role. And some automation part I also look after if required. Yeah. Yeah,
Yes.
programming. Yes, programming like Python and some Selenium APIs we use for downloading data, IRI data download. Okay. So such kind of automation or batch scripting or something like that related to Windows, Linux, okay, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
We're sharing the same background.
Good catch. Yeah. And on my screen,
I
they're
was
side
just
by
going to
side,
say
and
this
I
to
thought,
Prashant. We share
yeah.
the same background. See, otherwise my daughter would be here. She is already here.
They know the same contractor for doing house renos.
Yeah. So Murli, please go ahead.
Uh, uh, hi, Karan. Welcome to the team. I am into business objects developer, and I joined in. I joined 2 months before only, and I am doing this 4.3 migration.
So there are two reporting tools actually in NRS, Karen. So there are some users who are using business objects, and there are some users who are using Tableau. So there are a bunch of reports that are available in business objects. So Murli and there is one more team member, Prashit, who could not join us today. Those two are looking after the business objects related enhancements and development work. And then you will come into picture from the Tableau development side.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just gonna, and I'm not sure how much Pranav has filled you, but let me touch on that a little bit. So, strategically, one of the first moves we made last year was recognizing that our future direction or simplification was getting to one reporting footprint as we started to introduce the technologies for big data. So it was actually a leadership decision that said, let's move from having two totally independent vendors, two totally independent footprints to one. So that direction is moving to Tableau. However, it's like, you know, the guppy swallowing the whale. The whale is business objects. It's 2/3 our footprint, but we have, by the end of this year, we'll have completed the entire roll-off of Cognizant, which was the vendor supporting business objects, and we went to this concept of one service team. So, to Pranav's point, prior to about 4 months ago, Persistent was 100% Tableau support. Then we brought in Morale, we brought in Prashit. So now we have this one service team concept. And you'll see meetings with two other Cognizant resources, Divya and Kuzali. However, The game plan is to roll them off by the end of the year. So that'll leave us with an NRS footprint, which obviously Pallavi is part of, and Amrita and Morgan and VJ, and Persistent. However, it's one service team now. So that step is taken. Now, as we look forward strategically, the question is, we've lowered the priority on the transition of business objects to Tableau. Not that we've stopped it, but we're going to take it piecemeal. The first step is to move the financial reports over. We know that work ahead of us is financial driven, if you will, at least sections of it, because the CFO has come out and clearly stated we go way too much work to try and balance to the P&L. It's a huge effort here. So there's corrections to be made there. However, both Tableau and BO have financial footprint reporting. So let's change it in one spot rather than change it in two. So that's a goal essentially by the end of the year. The other thing that's gaining momentum very fast is we have a very good sound technology in Redshift. We have Tableau in place. However, there's a gap there for big data. So we need something that complements Tableau, complements Redshift, but can handle very large amounts of data, doing data mining, data navigation, and that's coming down the path as well. So some of the projects you'll be exposed to, obviously, and how work is distributed on the Persistent side, you'll hear the term sales record. That's been a 2-year effort to work with very senior people in finance and get down to a level of metrics that they can say, we're comfortable with these now. And that bridges us off into the whole aspect of reporting from that. And that's one of the things that we're very anxious to get you engaged with. And you'll be a part of that as well. On the BO side, we never made it. We've been trying for 2 years to get out of release 4.1 onto 4.3. So that we can at least be current with support in other aspects of BO, and that's what Murali and Prashid have been focused on. However, I'm hoping we're close to the end of that to move that forward. Right now, Nikhil and Pranav participate a lot in the working with the finance executives to drive those metrics. So you would be a nice complement to that team so that we can now start moving that reporting forward as well. So that's kind of what we're looking for, at least in the short term. Cool. Sorry, Pranav. Oh, P&L, the financial profit and loss statement. So yeah. So the GL constraints are somewhat light here. They do have an Oracle ERP in place for financials, which I don't think has been here for very long, as far as I know. However, the integration for a lot of that is still very manual. And I can give you an idea of how manual it is. So when we do, we have a better grasp on sales through the order process than really anything else. Costing, though, when we start looking at the costing components to lay it against sales to see how we're doing from a profit perspective, when I started here, I'm pretty sure it's the same. There's a group of people that take invoices, manually look at them and say, I think this is a printing cost. So they key it into an Excel as a printing cost. They go to the next line, key it into an Excel as another cost. And then all the Excel lines are accumulated and then passed along into the GL as costs. So a lot of progress to be made there. However, on the sales side, we're very strong. But net, Queenie, who's the CFO, her main motivation right now is how do I better align the data that's in the reporting world to what's actually in the GL and financial world. And there's tons of reconciliation that goes on now. And that should be expected because essentially when the company was bought by the equity firm, it came in with a new finance leadership almost in its entirety. And they're coming in with new ideas, better ways, more efficient ways of running the company. They're looking at costing from different perspectives and the same on the sales side. So if you're a developer that likes to think out of the box, likes to be a little bit more expressive from a coding perspective, great place to be. because no one's going to come to you and say, this is the answer. You're going to get a lot of people come and say, hey, Karen, what do you think? You're like, how do we tackle this? And yeah, I mean, we're seeing that now from Nikhil and Pranav in the last meeting. Loved it because basically they put up their hand and said, I know you got a performance issue. Here's an idea. Turned out to be a great one that we're going to start pursuing. So it's the type of stuff that it's really exciting. So we there's an interest. So as we go through this sales record project, the underlying goal was how granular can we get in raw data rather than allocating the data down from aggregate numbers. What is the true raw data that's there? How granular can we get it? And then let's set the logic in place for how we do certain rates, how we do certain, revenue scans. What's the rate per store? What's the rate per install? That's all great, but when you say to the business, okay, can you validate the numbers? What do you think? They start very high and they drill down very low to an order, a store, and a rate and say, yep, that's good. And they'll drill down to a placement and say, yep, the rate that you have for that shelf stock is right. But they're navigating through 6 to 8 million records just for one cycle. And we have 13 cycles that we go through. When you try and do that in Tableau, it smothers it, right? Like it's 6 million records. Now, if we open the world up to start looking at data across the year, the analyst on the financial side is going, this is all great, but I can have a coffee and 2 children while I'm waiting for a response to come back, right? So we have to get very creative on how we do that. The real answer is it what Tableau should be doing? And I think the answer there is no. But can we get creative in the interim until we solve the other sides of this from a performance perspective? So that's kind of where we are. Yeah. It's a lot better than being in a situation where someone says, hey, Karen, can you add column B to this and make sure A and B equal C? Okay, well, I'll go do that, as opposed to, okay, here's the problem. How do we solve it, right? It's good. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Oh, not a problem. I'm sure somewhere in your journey that Pranav and Nikhil will start participating in the overview of what Redshift looks like and all that. That would be a valid statement, would it not, Pranav? Yeah.
Sure, Jim.
Yeah. And again, I mean, I have to be careful here because you're essentially part of the persistent team, and Pranav may be sitting there going, "What's this guy doing?" Like I mean,
No, it is what it is planned.
Yeah.
Everything that we will touch base all these topics in our KD sessions.
Very cool. Okay. Yeah, no, it's fine. Yeah. Yeah, no, I it looks, that very warm and comfortable there. Whereabouts are you based, Karen? You're in Texas, right? Wow, Austin. I hate to ask you this, but country music fan? Okay. No, I had the chance to go to Texas, maybe 15 years ago. And we were in Austin not for long, but I was surprised way back then at how it was influenced by country music. I mean, there was country music everywhere. I mean, yeah, but anyway, yeah, no, it was very cool. Very cool. as opposed to New York, which is a completely different site. When we went down to Times Square and everybody was saying, "Stay close, don't wander away." Like, okay, I get it. Yeah. Pepsi had their head office. Yeah. Cool. Awesome. No, no, go ahead. No, and unfortunately, we've run you right down to a short window, but absolutely love to hear. Very cool. Mhm. Cool. Yeah, it's very cool. And I'm sure, we're going to learn a lot more about you as we go forward. I know joining a new company, the onboarding process and the learning process, I mean, it's a little bit awkward until you get into a running mode. But yeah, no, I think you're going to very much enjoy your time here. And, we'll talk a lot more in the Scrum sessions and stuff. But if there's anything I can do, by all means, reach out. Myself or Pallavi, and we're also onboarding Amrita. So, yeah, I mean, I'm anxious to get in running mode as well, and obviously Pranav is there, but yeah, they're the onshore crew works obviously a different hour set than the offshore crew, so we wait till they go to sleep before we have real fun on our side of the house. And I have to apologize, Karen, because that we have very senior people in the other meeting, and I apologize for talking way too much and cutting your time short. But I'm going to move over, and by all means, reach out if there's anything we can do. Not a problem. Great. Welcome aboard.
Thank you. Thank
Okay.
you, everyone. Thank you for joining the call. Thank you,
Okay,
Karen.
guys. Take care.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you.